I'm honestly impressed. What's up, folks? Mackenzie Meeker here from Graveyard Performance and Import Transition. I'm here with Logan in his FL5, and today we are going to be installing the HKS blow-off valve with recirculation kit. We wanted to go ahead and make a before clip of the sounds of the car, both with and without the burble. Logan, you want to go ahead and give us a rundown of the parts on the car?
The car has gotten a few mods done to it. I got a PRL intake as well as a turbo inlet, titanium turbo inlet, and it has a Honda Flex can on it as well. It has a two-step performance downpipe, an MXP Comp RS catback, PRL front pipe, and it's got a Wagner intercooler and charge pipes. I do believe that's all the mods that are done to the car.
Don't forget the HKS Sport motor mounts, as we can all hear in the video.
Yes, as well as the solid motor mounts. I believe they're an 88 or 78. I'm not exactly sure, but it does vibrate a lot. But I enjoy it. It helps put the power down a lot better, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm excited to get this blow-off valve put on the car. The intake noises, you can hear them when the windows are down pretty well, but you can't really hear anything in the cab. I'm hoping to get some cab turbo noises, so we'll see on how it sounds, but we'll be showing you those sound clips. Here's the third gear pull right here. This is with the burbles, obviously.
Not sure how well that's going to come through on the video. Definitely some intake noises, some bypass valve noises. Not overstated, definitely drowned out by the exhaust currently. Now we're going to do the same thing without the burbles on. Dogs in the road.
Thank God for Brimbos.
Yeah, Brimbos! And there's that famous Civic Type R wheel spin. Hey, so put the windows up. That's it on the sound clips. We are coming into town, going into the shop here in Lumberton. Just want to take a second and talk about the tune. It is on a custom tune that I did here at the shop at Import Transition. It's a full flex field tune. I would say for a stock turbo tune, it definitely is a pretty aggressive tune. Really loud burbles. In R mode, we have the burbles taken out of the other modes, but just be aware, depending on the tune, boost command, things like that, definitely will change the sounds of the car within reason. So don't expect to necessarily have the same results or the same beginning point. A lot of that is tune dependent. All right, so we made it back to the shop in Logan's FL5. We went ahead, threw the car up on quick jacks just to make it easier. We're both a little tall, so reaching down would be a little strenuous on the back. You can 100% do this job without lifting the car, as you're just accessing the turbo, really nothing underneath the car, but we lifted it to make it a little easier. First step in the process is you're going to remove your inlet. As Logan mentioned, he has a PRL titanium inlet, so it's pretty easy for us. We've got 4 clamps and then two 14mm bolts on the side of the inlet. We're gonna leave his stock air intake in place, pull the couplers to the inlet itself, remove them, move them out of the way, and then we're gonna pull off the inlet, and then, well, the top of the inlet, and then we'll pull off the actual inlet that goes into a turbo. That's what's secured with the two 14mm bolts. That will be on every single car, will be those size bolts. Whatever the clamps you have on your inlet, depending on if you're stock, aftermarket, that will vary. So we're gonna swap over to Metaglasses and show you that process.
Here's the FL5 Type R, putting the HKS blow-off valve on it. I'm gonna try and make a tutorial video with graveyard performance and import transition installing on my Type R. We got instructions here. HKS Japan. Return kit. Okay. We got another hose here. Got some more instructions. Okay. We'll go through that. We also got blow-off valve here. Pretty clean setup. And here's the Type R we're putting it on. Very excited to see how it sounds. We're gonna start the removal of the turbo inlet. Alrighty. Need to remove these bolts right here for the crossover. Doing good, how are you? Alright, removing these 10mm bolts on the bottom.
Quick update, the inlet bolts are 12mm, not 14.
Alright, got these hose clamps broken free. It is still warm from us driving it, so I'm gonna try and remove this. Kind of just start separating this stuff. It is very tightly put in here. Set this out the way and move this off. Take this out, set this to the side, put this right here. Take the titanium inlet out. It is secured in the back. Sometimes you can just wiggle it out. I believe I might have tightened it up. Let me get the 10mm as soon as he gets done with it. Alright, loosen up this bolt here on the top of the head. Secures the back side of the inlet. Removing battery terminal. We got that bolt behind loose. We can remove the turbo inlet. This little coupling as well. Move this coupling. It's pretty tight.
Got some residue. Probably from evap. Just gotta remove that right there.
Slightly longer if you want.
Cut this one. Take the extension off and use it by hand. Alright, got this bolt out. Carefully fish it out so we don't drop. Put it in there. And now we can get this inlet out. We need one more bolt to remove. The 10 mil ratchet. Got this one removed. Put it in there. Now we can take the turbo inlet out. Gotta fish it out. Just like so. Got our PRL elbow for the turbo inlet. Now we can get to our bypass valve.
Alright, so quick bird's eye view update. We got the inlet off the turbo and the crossover, of course, over the turbo. We just got one bolt loosened out of the stock bypass valve itself. It is 10 millimeters. You'll get a different view of that on the meta glasses. We're using a very small 10 millimeter wrench. I'm going a little turn by little turn. Definitely wasn't easy, but also wasn't the hardest thing. We have got the one that's sort of hidden by the coolant line to do next. That one will be a little tougher.
Okay, I'm currently removing the bolt off the bypass valve on the top right corner. Trying to carefully take it out so I don't drop it. It is a fight around this coolant line. I got it out. Awesome. We did not drop it. Let's put it in this box with the other stuff and try and get to this one on the top left. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit easier to get to. Alright, got this bolt out. Managed to not drop it as well. Got one more on the bottom. See if I can get around this AC line. Okay, I was able to get that bottom bolt out with a very tiny 10 mil socket and a ratchet. I'm gonna work it the rest of the way out with my fingers. Got the bolt. We didn't drop it, boys. Let's go. Okay, now we got this bypass valve removed. We can take it out, remove this hose clamp. Alright. Yes, sir. Look in there, got our turbo. Thank you kindly.
Flip it, or it's probably going to stretch and snap, and we're going to have to cut it back a little bit.
I got it. Woo! That hose was not playing around. Okay, guys, this is it removed. This is where our replacement is going. We had our 2 O-rings I've already put in. You find in your bag. We're gonna have to go ahead and put this on. Okay, guys, according to the instructions here, we need to cut this little tab off Not looking forward to it, but here goes nothing. Alright, that is now cut.
We'll probably go trim that up with some flush cuts in a second here.
And then we need to cut this hose as well.
No, not the hose. We just gotta move the hose clamps. Those hose clamps on the coolant water line here.
Flip these.
Yeah, flip them 180.
Alright.
This is the line for your. Oh, this is that one. I guess that's a good place for it.
Okay, it's time to feed this replacement piece where the bypass valve went in there. Try and make some room for it to get it in there without dropping these O-rings. Make sure your side is facing down. It's a very nice handle to keep it where it needs to be.
Top bolts.
Yeah, sure.
For the guys following along at home, these top bolts, they're called cap bolts, are HKS size.
It is very tight next to these coolant hoses. I got this one in. I'll take the other top one, try and feed it on the other side. So here's our blow-off valve and our bracket. It's going to go in this position with this bigger 12mm bolt. And we are going to take this little cover off with these 4 bolts that actually stick higher than the lower ones. And then this cap will come off. And then if you get the recirculating kit, there's a bag with this hose, and this will be located in there. You'll open it up, fit it in there, put it back together, and then you'll have this contraption here. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. We have already installed our bolts for where the bypass valve is located at, and we're going to be routing our hoses and our lines. And we'll let you know how that goes.
All right, so we're back. We do have the blow-off valve with the recirculation kit fully installed. We ran into some issues. Installing the hoses from the adapter plate on the turbo to the blow-off valve was extremely difficult. The main hose that goes from the body of the blow-off valve to the adapter facing towards the blow-off valve, not the side one, it is in direct contact with the water line. They give you some heat shielding to put on the line to protect the line, which is great. However, we had to, not everyone will, but on this specific car, bone stock, hasn't been touched, water lines, anything like that, we had to bevel the top edge of the HKS line in order to fit it underneath the water line. The water line down there is a pretty big hard line that the soft line connects to. And the hard line on this car, with the angle it's at from the factory, it does extend to directly over the HKS line, which creates a clearance issue. Other than that, the other vacuum lines went pretty easy. With this line, HKS recommends cutting it and installing an adapter and moving it down. We decided not to do that. It fits. We're not concerned about tucking it out of the way, so we're going to leave it that way. Honestly, if I were to do this job again, so if a customer were to come to my shop, I'm going to quote it. I'm going to remove the turbo, install the adapter on the turbo, install the lines to the adapter, and then get that in, and then you do the water lines like you do whenever you do a turbo swap. You pull the turbo off. So you always do the water lines last after the turbo, right before you bolt it up to the block. So had we known this, definitely would have made for a faster process. We spent quite a few hours trying to maneuver the lines and get enough clearance. However, we are both big guys doing this with big hands. Maybe, you know, if you had smaller hands, it might be a little easier. But going forward, so any of my customers will be pulling off the turbo to do this. I'm able to get a turbo off this car in about an hour and a half, get it put back on in about the same amount of time. So generally 3 hours is what I charge to pull a turbo and reinstall a turbo. Every shop's different. I've done this quite a few times on the Accords and the Type Rs, and I really don't mind the process. For your average DIYer, you might be more comfortable leaving the turbo in, but just budget yourself a good 6 to 10 hours to do this install job, because the last thing you want to be is in a situation where you're rushing to get your car back on the road and you're fighting some lines. It's going to create a lot of frustration, and definitely give yourself some time. So up next, we're going to put the inlet back on, reconnect it to the intake. It's going to be the same process we did taking it off. The metaglasses did die during this, so we won't get any more videos from that. But generally, the inlet install is extremely easy. There should be no clearance issues with any of these lines we ran. So it means that we just put it back on the same way. We took it off, and then we'll be back with a video showing off the results. So a little something we're doing. I recommend it if you have it. If you don't have it, it's okay. We're smoke testing the car. We decided not to put the full inlet back on, as we're not smoke testing for the inlet for leaks. We're smoke testing for the bypass valve and the recirculation kit. Smoke tester's been running for a couple minutes. This one doesn't build up high pressure, but it's been pretty successful in finding leaks for me. It hasn't leaked yet. Pretty sure our install was successful. Alright guys, back with our final out of the car clip. We got the blow off valve installed, confirmed that we got it installed correctly with the sound clip. Inlet's back in its place, same removal process. Those two 12mm, not 14mm bolts. Clamps for those, right back to the intake. Go ahead, give it a rev, let's hear it. I'm honestly impressed. Tested with the windows down, that's a different story, but here's our little test of within the car with the ball valve installed. This car has the Hasport stiff mounts. It is loud in here. I'm sure that's coming through the video. It's got a loud exhaust. We've got a burble tune set up. It's just a very loud car, and you really can't hear bypass valve combined with the sound deadening. I personally wonder if you'd be able to hear a blow-off valve in this car that was venting the atmosphere, but we won't be testing that right now. Back with our final clip in the Type R. Just wanted to share our opinions. So my opinion, first of all, I want to say, so this car is on my custom flex fuel tune. Right now it's running on E42. That means we're only making a peak boost of about 21 pounds due to how you have to set up the flex fuel tunes when you're not tuning for just max power. This car is able to run all the way up to E60. It's done that stock fuel system, so yeah, probably would be a little louder if we were on E25 making that 25 pounds of boost, and we'll definitely be able to test that later on. So my personal opinions on it, Install was pretty tough. I probably recommend you having a buddy help or paying a shop to do it that you trust. It can be tackled. Just give yourself some time. Second, I think it's a good product. I think it's an awesome product for leaving cars and coffee. The noise outside is great, and I know the flyby noise when you shift is going to be awesome. On this exact setup, I don't really hear it too much in the car with the windows up, but can't say we're surprised due to sound deadening, motor mounts, exhaust, to etc. You know, but it's not my car. I'll ask Logan, you know, hey, what's your thoughts, and be honest.
If I'm gonna be honest, I really do like the sound of it. The only complaint is the no sound with the windows up, but with the windows down, it is very loud and it sounds awesome. Very more than happy with the sound change. The way it sounds is a lot different than what the stock bypass valve is. So I can't complain there whatsoever. The only thing is it sure does make me consider go blow off valve. But other than that, I'm very happy with the product.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair opinion. As his tuner, I'm gonna do my best to talk him out of converting it to vent to atmosphere. You get all the good sounds vent to atmosphere. Personally, I don't like vent to atmosphering on math-based cars. Definitely consult your tuner about that and get their opinions and make your best judgment.